Hey you guys, it's Bethley here, and this is the fourth part of my X-Men in the MCU fan cast. First off, I want to say thank you so much for 700, almost 800 views on the first part of this series. Thank you so much for watching it. Let's get it to 1K. If you haven't watched it yet, it's on the channel and in the playlist. In the first part, I did the original 5. Bobby, Scott, Jean, Hank, and Angel. And in the second part, I did some of the 90s cast, which include Rogue, Storm, Wolverine, Gambit, Colossus, Kitty Pryde, and Nightcrawler. And in this part, I'm going to be doing a few more characters. Start off with Psylocke. I think that Olivia Munn was a great choice, and I wish they would have given her more to do in X-Men Apocalypse. Still, if they wanted to give her another chance, I would support it. My first option for Psylocke is Sonoya Mizuno, who is a Japanese actress. She's 35 and 5'7". You may have seen her in Crazy Rich Asians and Ex Machina. She's not my first choice because I'm looking to cast people in their 20s. A positive for her is that she is Japanese like the character, and that representation is very important. Next up is Samantha Nguyen from Army of the Dead. She had a really cool scene in that movie, and her physicality was very impressive. When I saw her, I thought she would be a great Psylocke. She was also in Amazon in the Wonder Woman movie. She is 30 and 5'4". She is also trained in the martial arts, which would be very helpful for Psylocke. Hoyeon Jung is the actress from Squid Game. Everyone is obsessed with her right now, and I'm one of those people. She is 27 and 5'9". I loved her in Squid Game, and the MCU would be very lucky to have her. I do think she would probably make a better Silk from the Spider-Man movies because they're both Korean, and that's probably a better fit. And she also did take a picture with Zendaya or MJ recently, so it would be cool to see them together in the MCU. But this video is about Psylocke, and I do think that she has a great look for that. And you can just watch Squid Game and imagine her character as Psylocke, and I think that she has a great personality and vibe for the role. Now we have Anna Sawai. Firstly, she is stunning. She has been in Ninja Assassin, Fast and Furious 9, and she will be in F10. She is 29 and 5'8", and that works for me Asian height-wise. I honestly think she looks perfect for the role. She is Japanese, so she's culturally appropriate. The only downfall for me is that I haven't seen much of her work, and my final choice actress is one that I have seen a lot more of. But Anna Sawai is my second choice, and she's really close to being my first. Leave a comment telling me what you think about her as Psylocke in the MCU, aka Quanon. Finally, my choice for Psylocke in the MCU is Adeline Rudolph. I picked so many people from the cast of Sabrina, and there may be some more coming up in this video that you've probably been able to guess it by now. I love that show and I wanted more of it. Plus, my pick for Jean Grey is Abigail Cohen, and her and Adeline were on that show together and they're best friends, so I want to reunite them. She is 26 and 5'8". I loved her in Sabrina, and I do think she looks the part and that she would be a great fit. The only downside I see is that she is Korean, not Japanese. I wouldn't want to take that representation away, and that is why someone like Anna Sawai might be a more favorable option. She would also be a great choice for Silk, but I do want her and Abby back together, so I think that she would be a better choice for Psylocke. One thing about Psylocke that's tricky is the body swap storyline. What I would do is have Betsy embodying the body of Quanon as a way to try and save her, like she's in the body to try to figure out a way to save her life. And eventually, once Betsy and the X-Men find a way to separate the two characters and keep them both alive, then they would safely separate. Therefore, My final choice for Psylocke, aka Quanon, in the MCU is Adeline Rudolph. The next character I want to fan cast is Lorna Dane, aka Polaris, Magneto's daughter. She has previously been portrayed by Emma Dumont, and I love this version of Lorna. There are things that I would want to keep, like her being bipolar. I love the Gifted and I wanted more of it. I'd be very happy if they brought her back. If they're not going to bring her back, then I would like a more Wolverine in the X-Men-esque version of this character. One thing that I thought of is that she is Wanda and Pietro's half-sibling, and that means that they could make her biracial. I want to put Lorna on the X-Men team in the first movie along with the original 5. Maybe she goes against Magneto's wishes and joins to fight with the X-Men instead. Anyway, my first choice is Yara Shahidi from Grownish. I had her in part 3 of my fan cast videos as a potential rogue. She is 21 and 5'3". I like her a lot and I would want to find a role for her. I'm not sure if Lorna would be the perfect fit for Yara, but I do think it would be an interesting choice. Next up is Madison Pettis. She's a former Disney and Nickelodeon kid. She was in the Game Plan with The Rock when she was a kid. She is 23 and she's 5'2". In the older comics, Lorna had big curly green hair, and Madison is known for having big curly hair, and I also think that she would look good with green hair. I think that she would be cute with my Havok choice because I would want to build up to getting them together, even though Alex probably wouldn't be in the first movie. This next choice is for a more traditional version of Lorna. I go back and forth between Margaret and my final choice because I do like when things are comic accurate. So my runner-up is Margaret Qualley from Maid on Netflix. I finished watching it recently and it was so great. I still think about it. The whole time I was envisioning her as Lorna. I also think she kind of resembles Elizabeth Olsen, and I could see them as half-siblings. Margaret is 27 and she's 5'8". I think she can play younger because she looks very young. Especially the entire season of Maid, I thought she was younger than she really was. I really like her, and she would be great if we wanted a more comics accurate version of Lorna Dane. My final choice for Lorna is another actress from the Sabrina reboot, Jazz Sinclair. She has a strong connection to my Havok pick. Try to guess who it is now. She is 27 and 5'5". Like Margaret, I think she can play younger because they both look a lot younger than 27. She played Roz in Sabrina, and I think she did a really great job. I made some fan edits of her as Lorna, and I think that she would look really cute with curly green hair. She's going to be in a The Boys college spinoff, so more people will be introduced to her there, and I think that she's going to do a great job in that. That being said, my final choice for Lorna Dane Polaris in the MCU is Jazz Sinclair. Now we'll move on to Lorna's boyfriend in the comics and Scott Summers' brother, Alex Summers, aka Havok. Havok was previously portrayed by Lucas Till. I think that he did a great job, but they didn't do very much with that character. Alex is the younger brother of Scott in the comics, and I did not like that they changed it in the movies. Scott is like everyone's older brother, so it makes sense that he is an actual older brother. Also, Alex is in Scott's shadow a lot of the time, and that causes them to not always get along. So much of that comes from their brother dynamic. Alright, I'm going to start with Jace Norman from Henry Danger. He is 21 and 5'11". My Scott Summers pick is Jacob Elordi. And I don't really think these two look that much alike, but I can see it enough to mention him in this video as a potential Alex Summers. My next choice is Luke Benward. He's 26 and 6'2". He is older than Jacob, who's 24. I think that they are close enough in age that it could be believable that Jacob is older than him. And I do think that they do look believable as brothers. And even in these pictures, like, he looks like an Alex Summers type to me. Then there is Rudy Pankow from Outer Banks. He is 23 and 6 feet tall. He has been fan casted by so many people as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. And I do think that he would be a great choice for that character because JJ in Outer Banks gives so much chaotic energy. But I also think that he'd be great as Alex Summers. He looks like Lucas Till, who played Alex in the Fox movies, to me. And I get a pretty chill vibe from Alex's character. And JJ is all over the place. But Rudy is an actor, so I'm sure he'll be able to play it cool. I also do see a very strong resemblance between him and Jacob with the face structure. And Jacob is actually older than Rudy. Yeah, I do think that he would be a great choice for Alex Summers in the MCU. He's my runner-up choice. Very close second. My final choice actor is also from Sabrina, aka Ross Lynch. Should be Havok in the MCU. I've supported Ross Lynch since Austin and Ally and R5, and I really want him to play Alex. This is the most certain I am of anyone on this list. Ross is also older than Jacob, but he recently turned 26. I think that he can be believable as Jacob's younger brother because Scott and Alex are only 2 years apart in age. Ross is 6 foot and Jacob is 6'5". As I mentioned earlier, he has a connection to Jazz Sinclair, who I would pick as Lorna. They are dating in real life, and they dated while they were filming Sabrina, and I would like to keep them together. They have the chemistry from being a real life couple, and they had great chemistry on the show. So again, I would pick Ross Lynch as Alex Summers, aka Havok, in the MCU. I want to keep going with more characters like Jubilee. Jubilee was great in the 90s X-Men animated series, and I love Lana Condor's portrayal of her in X-Men Apocalypse. Like I've said in videos prior, I happen to really like X-Men Apocalypse. And I wish she was in it more. She should have been in the final battle sequence. I don't know why she wasn't. And I would love to have her back if they chose that. She is also friends with Abby and Adeline, who I would pick as Jean and Psylocke respectively. However, if they want new casting, I do have a few people in mind, starting with Lana's sister in All the Boys I've Loved Before, Anna Cathcart. She is half Chinese, where the character of Jubilee is fully Chinese. She is 18 and 5'1". I think she was great in those movies, and I think that she could portray a very energetic Jubilee or Kitty, because that was her character's name in To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Oh, she could play either, but I do think that she would be good as Jubilee. I have the most choices for Jubilee, so let's move on to Olivia Rodrigo from High School Musical on Disney+. She also has that connection with Disney already. She's 18 and she's Filipino and she's 5'5". She's also a musician and has blown up recently, so I feel like she's too big at this point to be a background X-Men character. So she is a big name, so if that's what Disney wanted, she would be a great choice. Next, we have my runner-up, Ashley Lyle. She is 5'3", she's 20, and she was in the Disney Plus film Secret Society of Second Born Royals. So she already has that Disney connection. She is fully Chinese, which is a plus for her because the character Jubilee is Chinese. She's very energetic, she's cute, she's young, and everything that you would need for Jubilee in the MCU. Finally, my top choice for Jubilee in the MCU is Peyton Elizabeth Lee. She is 17 and 5'5". I feel like Jubilee should definitely be one of the younger characters, so I think she fits in that age range. She is half Chinese, and she's known for the short haircut that Jubilee has when she was in Annie Mac. Annie Mac was a show on Disney Channel. Now she has a show on Disney Plus called Doogie Kamala MD. Disney is clearly in the Peyton Elizabeth Lee business, and they enjoy working with her, clearly because she has been the lead of 2 of their shows and she's only 17. She was also a very big character in the Society of Second Born Royals, which is also a Disney Plus movie, so she is all over Disney. I think that she's perfect for Jubilee. She has the energy and the luck. So my final choice for Jubilee, aka Jubilation Lee, in the MCU is Peyton Elizabeth Lee. Let's move on to another popular character from the X-Men animated series. Little sidebar, I'm super excited for the reboot of that cartoon. I've watched it 3 times since Disney Plus came out, and one of the more popular side characters in that show was Bishop. Yahya Abdul Mateen II is one of my choices for Bishop. He is a bit of an older choice. He's 35 and 6'3". He was the main villain in Aquaman. He's been in Candyman and Watchmen since. I think that he's great in everything that I've seen him in, and he would be stellar as Bishop. This casting is in the vein of people fan casting Idris Elba for Bishop. He gives off that same vibe and energy for me. Moving on to Caleb McLaughlin next. He is one of the Stranger Things kids, and recently he was in a movie with Idris Elba called Concrete Cowboy. I really like him in both the things that I've seen him in. He is 20 and he's 5'8". Honestly, I think he'd be much better for Miles Morales in the MCU. Still, I want to mention him as a younger choice, but still an interesting one. One option that I ultimately did not choose is Shameik Moore. He is Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse movies. He is 26 and 5'10". I really liked his portrayal of Miles, even though I do prefer Miles from the Spider-Man games to Miles in the animated movies. Which one do you prefer? Anyway, I think that he'd be a very cool choice if they went with him. He has the dreads like Bishop has. He'd probably look good with an M over his eye. I also like Bishop being a little older since he's from the future. What do you think about this choice for Bishop in the MCU? Now we are on to my final choice for Bishop, who is Trevor Jackson. He's 25 and 6'2". I do think that he should put on some muscle for the role, but this is a younger version of the character. I've liked him since Let It Shine, also on Disney Channel. He's also been on Grownish on Freeform, which is owned by Disney. He's worked with Zendaya on her Disney show, Casey Undercover. He has so many Disney connections over the years, but he's never been the main character and he's never had a breakout role. He was a star in a movie called Superfly in 2018, but that movie didn't get a lot of buzz. I think that Bishop could be his breakout role, and he deserves to have a breakout role. I've been looking for a place to put him. He was on my list for Angel in the MCU, and I think that he would be great as either. Jean Grey and Bishop dated in a comic called X-Men Alpha, and I think they'd be cute if they wanted to go that way, but I'm loyal to Jean and Scott. Anyway, I think he'd be amazing, and my final choice for Lucas Bishop in the MCU is Trevor Jackson. Finally, we are at the last fan casting for this video. I pushed making this video because I was having the hardest time choosing someone for Emma Frost. I still don't think I have the perfect choice, but I am satisfied with it. This character is an X-Men villain and hero sometimes, and she's Emma Frost. I had an initial list of 22 actresses for Emma, but I got it down to 5. One thing I really want from an actress playing Emma is to be British. I want a deep and snooty British accent for Emma. She was done wrong in X-Men First Class, and I would not want January Jones back because I don't think the character is very well written, but they also didn't give her much to go with. Anyway, the first actress up is Emma Roberts. I saw this choice on Instagram, but I had it in my mind already. She's 30 and 5'2". I tried to think about who would look believable against Jacob Elordi, who is playing my Cyclops. Emma should be older than Scott, but I can't really see them as a couple. Emma was in Scream Queens. If they aren't gonna put Scott and Emma together in like phase 4 of the X-Men movies, then she would be great apart from Scott. Now I want to move on to Lucy Boyton. She is 27 but will be 28 in January. She was in Bohemian Rhapsody. She is still with Rami Malek, who is with her in that movie. I think she has a very good look for this character. She's almost 4 years older than Jacob, and I think that would work. And I do think that they would look cute together, but obviously we would need a chemistry test to know for sure. And I do think that she has the physical look of Emma, but in Bohemian Rhapsody, her character is very soft. So we need to see if she could be the tougher, rougher Emma Frost that we know. And she also has a lighter British accent instead of a darker British accent, and I'm sure she could darken it for the role. So we have another interesting choice for my runner-up, but one that I love. This actress is Anya Chalotra. She is 25 and 5'6". She plays Yennefer in The Witcher on Netflix, which just had its second season at the time of recording. After her makeover on that show, I got big Emma vibes. I really like her in that show, and I want to see more of her. She needs to be in more things because she is amazing. Also, her and Jacob playing Emma and Scott would be so cute. I really love this casting too. I bet Anya would look amazing in blonde hair. She is British, but like I said, she has a very soft accent. I'm sure she could deepen it a bit. In some interviews I've watched her in, she gives off big Susan Storm energy for some reason. She seems very sweet in real life. Anyway, I do think that she would be such a beautiful Emma Frost, and she looks amazing in white. I think she has a great face for it. The character of Yennefer is very similar to Emma, though it's kind of like she's already playing the role. I would just die for her to be Emma Frost in the MCU. My final choice is probably a weird one, but stick with me here. Sophie Turner is in my mind. She is 25 and 5'9". Honestly, I was not a big fan of her as Jean Grey. I feel like she was miscast. I like Sophie Turner, but it was more of a writing issue with her Jean. There just wasn't enough character development. I also think that she looks crazy beautiful with blonde hair. She has the bone structure of Emma. She looks so pretty in white. She has the deep British accent that I want. I think she looks different enough with the blonde hair and just that she's gotten older to differentiate her from her as Jean. I also think that she would look killer in that costume. She still gets to play a telepath that's in love with Scott Summers, and she wouldn't have to worry about doing an American accent. I really talked myself into this choice. Originally, I wasn't going to go with Sophie Turner, but the more that I thought about it, the more that I watched her work and looked at pictures of her, I just couldn't deny that Sophie Turner is the Emma Frost that I want. I'm casting more for an Emma like in Wolverine and the X-Men. They botched Jean at points in that show, but I think that they did get Emma right. It's one of the only portrayals of Emma that I like, besides her in X-Men anime. If you're going to get Scott and Emma together, that's the way to do it. I honestly would love her as Emma Frost, so my final choice for Emma Frost in the MCU is Sophie Turner. Here are the final casting choices listed again. Adeline Rudolph as Quanon or Betsy Braddock, aka Psylocke. Jazz Sinclair as Lorna Dane, aka Polaris. Ross Lynch as Alex Summers, aka Havok. Peyton Elizabeth Lee as Jubilation Lee, aka Jubilee. Peter Jackson as Lucas Bishop. And finally, Sophie Turner as Emma Frost, aka the White Queen. I had a blast making this video. I'm so grateful if you stayed all the way through. I want to give a special thanks to Theron Damia for encouraging me to continue making these videos and the support on all the videos I've made so far. I will try to credit the original artist for the art that isn't mine. If you want a better look at the art, go on my Instagram at xmen_edits and you will find it there. Side note, I want to start doing movie reactions because I would love to watch the X-Men movies with you guys. So if you know how to do that, I would greatly appreciate the help and advice. Thank you for watching this video among my other videos, and stay tuned for part 5 of my X-Men fan casting videos. I want to do the remaining Young Avengers and the Fantastic Four and some of the Spider-Man characters that haven't been cast yet too. I'm currently working on a Dark Phoenix trailer with Abby Cohen in the lead role of Jean Grey. Thank you again for watching this video. Bye guys.